There was no. For as many years as you and I have done this show, it is funny. I want to give a little behind the scenes for all of the variants of our show. For as many years as we've done the show, between 3.5 to 5 minutes before the show, shenanigans always break out. Something is always just a little off. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if we could even do X or whatever. And there's always a panic. There's always a last minute panic. Hello,
Is
Kerry.
there always a panic? There is, because it's not me panicking.
It's always me. I mean, look, you're the ship that's holding the sea at bay. I don't know. Hello to Chloe. Hello to Leslie. Hello to Joanne. Hello, everybody. So we were going to talk about holiday traditions today. We thought that might be kind of cool. We're going to talk just a little bit about my 3 words, although most of you on this call are my 3 words veterans. So it'll be for people who aren't.
And then I wanted to talk about holiday tipping. Like it's that time of year where you tip the people that, like serve you and help you throughout the whole year. And people are always like, wait, who do I tip and how much do I tip? And I'm one of those people. So I thought we could talk about it.
I love that topic because I love to tip, which is a very American thing, by the way. There are other cultures that are like, you people are crazy. They're paid to do that job. What are you doing right now? But I don't see it that way.
But what about the holidays? Like the holidays may be different still. Maybe you give a small gift or something to the folks who like bring your mail or like help you with your kids, or I don't know. I imagine gifting is pretty universal.
I have long said, I've long stuttered. I've long said that Boxing Day is my favorite holiday, which is the one where the nobles would give off the staff their day off and go let them go visiting and that sort of thing. So I think this rolls into that. Kerry, what's a holiday tradition you remember right off the bat? Like if I say to you, and let's say Christmas for us, because that's what we celebrate, what's a holiday tradition that you remember in the seasons that was something that repeated a lot, or was there one?
So when I was growing up, my parents were like the lukewarm Catholics, where we went to church on Christmas and Easter, and that was it. That was it. So one of the things we would do is on Christmas Eve, there'd be a pageant. And sometimes I was in it because if you're going to catechism, which is like where they tell you how to be Catholic, then, they just like conscript you into their Christmas pageant. So I usually was like standing in the back or something. I was like an angel standing in the back. I did not have a lead role. They did not trust me that far, which is fine. So we would go to do that. And I loved it because afterwards it felt special to be out at night with my parents. Like we didn't do that a lot. Frankly, there wasn't a lot to do around where we lived. So it was kind of cool. Then we'd go back and we would open one gift. And I had a knack for picking the best, most expensive gift and, kind of spoiling Christmas by like opening it the night before. Like one year it was a typewriter, which sounds so old school, but it was an electronic typewriter that could actually like white out and give you like options for fixing your mistakes. It was a big deal. And I was really excited. So like I spoiled that for myself one year, Christmas Eve. That's okay. I mean, I was fine with it. My mom, I think, was disappointed that I had opened it.
This isn't a tradition, but I will tell you about the one year that I was so clever. One of the things I love about children is that they think that they have just invented something all the time. Like that your parent didn't do this, that everyone doesn't know what you're doing, and that you are not as omniscient as you think. And I know I'm going to hear a giggle from another room because I am visiting my dad in Las Vegas right now. When one Christmas, I went and I ripped the corners of pretty much every package under the tree that had my name on it and was excited as heck because, it was a lot of work for my parents to provide and put stuff under the tree. And I was a burgeoning Boy Scout with a lot of camping experience coming in front of me. And I got all this Boy Scout camping gear. And I was so smug. And I was like, I knew what all my gifts were going to be. And I was so happy. But my parents are smart and funny. So what they did was they ripped open a whole bunch of my gifts, put other stuff in them. So when I opened the canteen up, I opened the box and there's a ball jar in there. And so they would do things that looked like the gift but weren't, and they did
What's a
that
ball jar?
like a
Like what?
like the in my house I have like
Like a
800
mason jar?
jam jugs that you could can and put pickles in.
Okay.
That's the brand is called Ball. Mason jar
Okay.
is just
I
another.
don't know. I was just like thinking maybe they were tennis balls or something fun, but no,
No,
it was just a
they
jar.
were just
Okay.
so I picked the worst possible brand name of
Sorry, I'm a
something that I
millennial.
thought all of the America in the world would know, but no. So sleeping bag, they put like a sheet in there. You know what I mean? And I had a camp lantern, and they just put a couple of old candles from under the couch or something.
That's awful.
So that's not a tradition, but tradition. We had an incredible run of it. So we'd go to my next door neighbor's house, Maud, my grandfather's next door neighbor's house, Maud, who I don't think was related to us, but she was family enough on Christmas. Christmas Eve, we'd go there, we'd eat. She'd put out a little platter of snacks. She would serve Mogan David wine, which I have since learned is not like a very great wine, but I thought it was the nectar of the gods.
I haven't heard of that either. Sorry.
Now, we'd go to my sometimes we'd go to mass right after, because again we were similar Catholics. We were pretty practicey for a while, but we'd go to mass. We'd go out to my Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Jane's house, and we'd have a beautiful dinner out there. Jane made lasagna. There were all kinds of snacks, all kinds of jazz music, and then we may or may not start opening the one gift to take care of things. But the one gift, though, usually we were steered towards something that we, like an action figure or something that wouldn't like wreck the experience. To your point. And then the next day we'd have between 3 to 5 Christmases. We'd have the real one, the go to grandparents one, friends of family, cousins, etc. We'd have 3 to 5 more of them. So my Christmas time used to have 12 or more events tied to it.
You're greedy. Just kidding. And they're all real. Leslie says, reminds me of my parents. My dad would always say boxes mean nothing because they were always recycled year after year. Yes, we had Jordan Marsh boxes for many years after Jordan Marsh was no longer a thing. At least my in-laws had. Boomer apologizing for my generation.
Oh, that's the ball jar comment.
I mean, I know what a mason jar is. I've used them. I just wasn't like, oh, I wonder what look at this transparent logo.
Yeah.
Who does that?
That's the funnier part, though, is like, when you're over to my place, you can see like I have hundreds of them. I'm so enamored of them as drinking glasses.
Yeah, but I'm not like, well, I'll see what this is. You know what I mean? Just drink out of it. I don't know.
I know, I get it.
Like I go, what is this? Let's see.
Yeti. That's a Yeti mug. That's their tumbler.
I've never been fashionable. So those types. I read like the story on the Pepperidge Farm cookie bag. Like I'll do that, but that's not transparent. So
that's
I feel
true.
like it's different.
Other holiday traditions. So was there particular foods? Because I'm struggling to remember what was like the main dish, because my grandma would make 3 to 5 main dishes. So there might be ham and a fish dish and maybe a bird or something like that. It looked like the Feast of Stephen, let's say.
Not really. My parents didn't have consistent plan. So we would sometimes go out. We would sometimes go to one friend's house or another friend's house. We didn't typically go to relatives' houses because we didn't live near any relatives. My parents had moved to Cape Cod, and that was a solid couple of hours away from anybody to whom we were related. So for a lot of years, we didn't do that, like when we were little. But we would. I'm trying to remember one year we had my brother's friend's mom. My brother's friend lived nearby, and they came over, and she was a wonderful cook. So that Christmas was really nice, even though it was like in our house. So I was not used to having like really nice food served in our house, but she'd made one of those, I forget what we call it, like a Noel kind of log, like Christmas log. It's like a chocolate or a Swiss like roll thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What do they call that anyway? Like a Christmas log thing. The Yule log. Thank you. Dan Gorgon off camera, everybody, with the assist. So it was frosted to look like a real log, but then on the top she had arranged like this really elaborate ice skating scene with a little like fake mirror to be like a pond and like little ice skaters and little trees and the whole thing. and it was just really cool as a centerpiece while we were having our dinner. So that I remember, and I kind of always associate that with what I would consider like a really nice Christmas dinner.
That's funny to think about. I love to think about the kinds of foods that only seem to show up at that time. Like, for instance, my grandparents had mixed nuts out for the holiday all the time, the kind you had to crack with a cracker. And Brazil nuts would only ever seem to be in that bowl around the holiday. So I would start to think, why is this connected? Hazelnuts, of course, which were also called filberts, which I never understood. It's like the
I never heard that. I don't know.
chickpea and garbanzo bean, right? So those are the same thing. This is that. It's interesting to think also of like eggnog. One, why is that a thing? Two, why is that only reserved and contained to Christmas, like Mariah Carey's Christmas song?
It's the thing because it tastes good, and my theory is that it's contained to the holidays so that we don't drink it all the time because it's so thick. Even if you don't go the alcoholic route, so let's leave like day drinking aside for this conversation. Eggnog, just even eggnog out of a carton from the store that is purely like okay to drink, non-alcoholic, is very rich, and so probably not like super for your health the whole year round. So maybe we just like slotted it in the holidays so that we don't drink it all the time. I don't know.
That could well be.
Ours was always a nuclear family Christmas because my dad was in the Air Force and we didn't live near extended family. Okay, so similar. Just thinking and not remembering anything unique about our Christmas traditions. I mean, there's stuff though that you think, oh, I bet everybody does this, but they don't. You know, some people, like we had a rule in our house. My parents did not like to get up early. They didn't. They would if they had to. And on Christmas, the rule was we could get our stockings down and open those up and eat the candy, do whatever with the toys and books inside, but we could not bother them. So we had to not touch anything else until they got up. My dad would put music on the radio, like holiday music. He would make sure the tree was on, get some coffee for God's sake. And then when everybody was like civilized, then we would do the presents, but we could have our stocking before then. Chloe says, my gran used to say you can open one gift when you see the first star appear. I never saw her every year, but that was my favorite memory of Christmas from childhood. Isn't that funny how one will be like outsized compared to the rest, like my Yule log or your first star?
I love that. I love any of those things that like really glue to our brains as like a very important holiday thing. I had so many epic Christmases my parents would do. And also it was funny because I was telling my dad this, he said something about, I hope I don't make any noise that wakes you. And I said, you cannot wake me. Like I sleep like a dead man. Like when I was a kid, next door neighbor's house, some drunk person came and smashed their entire porch off. They like thought it was a moose and ran it over with their car. And I slept through that. My parents disassembled the basement stairs so that they could bring down a ping pong table and a racetrack and then put it together and then reassemble the basement stairs.
Wow.
And I slept through that. So, you know,
one year my dad had gotten a bike for me, and my dad always listened to what I wanted. My mom was like, itch, right? So my mom would get me like something like what I asked for, but not the thing I asked for. Like,
yes.
I asked for the Madonna True Blue album one year, and I got Cyndi Lauper True Colors from my mom. My dad got me the correct one. So my dad was always listening. Anyway, so my dad knew one year I wanted a bike because I had like a secondhand bike, one of the really big ones.
Yeah.
And I forget like how, I think it was like 3 gears or something, but it was big. And I really wanted like a dirt bike because for one thing, we lived on a dirt road. So it was helpful, but also because they were cooler. So my dad got me a Huffy, one of the old fashioned dirt bikes, and he put it together and everything. And I came out Christmas morning and I said, Dad, where'd you get a bike? That's cool. And he said, the spirit of Christmas weaves magical things. I said, Dad, the spirit of Christmas did not weave my bike. It's a Huffy. Where'd you get it? I was like really excited about it.
You jerky kid. You're supposed to
I know.
Believe in love.
So Jess Intuit Coach says, yeah, we did have to wait for the parents. We also opened one gift on Christmas Eve, also Catholic, so went to Mass on Christmas Eve. Yeah, I think just holiday traditions in general, obviously they span beyond Christmas. But if you were, like we were, Boston Catholic, basically, like there's one very common experience a lot of us had. So
yeah, for sure. And it's interesting because I went through a long phase where I did not like Christmas. And the reason I didn't was I just had a lot of my own guilt that I was dealing with, that I was like a crappy kid. Like if I didn't like a gift, you would know about it, that sort of thing. My memory of that is pretty rough. But as a little kid, when you don't know to be guilty or anything like that, I loved holiday songs. My mom did too. My mom would sing like Silver Bells and just all those really great songs. I loved all the churchy ones like God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. I still love those songs. Which brings me to a story of the other thing we do is we'd grab my Aunt Belle, who was a fascinating, colorful person who had very many stories about her ex-dead husband, Pearlie. And Aunt Belle would ride in the car. That would be my grandparents, my parents, my brother, and I, and Aunt Belle. And we were going out to my Uncle Jim and Aunt Jane's house. And on the way, we're seeing all the holiday lights. One year in particular, for reasons no one quite knows, my Aunt Belle's version of explaining or exclaiming that she was enjoying the lights was she kept shouting, "Son of a whore." And we don't know why, but she was just like, "Son of a whore, look at those lights."
Geez, you need a PG-13 on this episode.
So my Grammy is laughing, my mom is laughing, my dad and my grandfather in the front seat, hopefully ignoring, who knows. And out of the blue, my mom bursts into song, but not a Christmas song. "Oh, beautiful for spacious skies." And my grandmother starts singing, and my Aunt Belle resets and just starts singing the song with them. And so we pull into my Uncle Jim and Aunt Jane's singing My Country 'Tis of Thee or something by the time we got there. So let's talk about traditions. You flashed up that banner about what did you create for your family. It took me a lot of years to realize that traditions didn't just show up. Like they weren't just like, God-given or something. What traditions do you remember making for your family when you were in charge of starting them?
I was actually just talking about this. We had like one of those Zoom holiday things for work. And I talked about this too. But when we first moved to Florida from Massachusetts, because we were in Florida for a while, we didn't know anybody or have any traditions, unique to the area. So the Friday after Thanksgiving, I made hot chocolate because, it make not out of the packet. It tastes better when you make it. So you like actually make it, right? So I made it with like cocoa and did it the old fashioned way, whatever, and made hot cocoa. And we took it with us in the car and went driving around after it got dark to see who had on the Friday after Thanksgiving put their lights up. Because we were used to in Massachusetts, there would be like some people, I called them tryhards, which is probably unkind, but that put their lights up immediately and they were like an impressive display of lights. And so we were sort of looking around to see where's those neighborhoods here in the new place. And we came across this light show. I mean, the guy sold like lighting displays, like he would coordinate choreographed lighting displays. It's like his business. But so as I guess content marketing and advertising, he would do up his own house every year with a fully coordinated music, choreographed kind of light show.
Wow.
And yeah, we just like stumbled upon that. And so we would do that every year that he did it. And then eventually it got so big, and I think his neighborhood got so annoyed that he moved it to like a town building or something. They paid him to do it. Yeah, for the town. And so then we would do that every year. But even though we've moved away from there, we still go out on the Friday night after Thanksgiving to see who all has put their lights up. That's one of the things that we do.
I love it. That's a great one. Leslie says, we never did. I'm not pushing that button.
So all right, fine.
We never did advent calendars growing up. So that was a new tradition that I made for my girls when they were growing up to make the Christmas countdown extra fun. I tend to think I'm a traditionalist in the holidays. Or I think I'm not a traditionalist, and then someone will suggest something non-traditional and I get really grumpy. I love the variant advent calendars that you can get, like the Lego advent calendar, so that by the time you're done, you can make like a spaceship or something. One, did you do advent calendars? Two, because I didn't have when I was a kid. Two, did you do weird ones or the little chocolates?
So my brother, we did them one year. My brother opened every door in the thing, ate all the candy out of it, and then closed the friggin' door. So that I can't tell you how many days it took me to realize that he had eaten them all, but it was a couple. I was
Mm.
like, oh no, I guess I missed it today. Oh no, I guess I missed it today. 2 or 3 days before I realized he had opened them all and eaten them all. So no, we did not do them again after that. We did not. I want to make sure that we get to
Yeah,
holiday tipping
let's do
because
tipping.
and 3 words because people are excited about 3 words. So first of all, I don't know if everybody holiday tips. I do. If I go like my hairdresser, if I see them around the holidays, I will holiday tip them. Usually for me, that's like it's like about half the cost of a regular service.
Wow.
Yeah. Like if they're great and they always go like above and beyond. I don't know. And oh, people who do the trash, like you almost never see those guys. And I make an effort to get something outside for them. It used to be easier. Now we live in an apartment, so like our trash can's not just ours, and we don't bring it out. When it was like our house, we would tape like an envelope to the top of it with some money in that. And that I mean that could be like I don't know depends how many guys there are, right? If there's 3 guys, you try to give like $100 or something so they each get some. If it's 1 or 2, then maybe it's a little different. So we tip those guys, and I do not have a doorman. I hear it's traditional to tip a doorman. Do not do that. I do sometimes if I go to the same coffee shop a lot, I'll put something in a little envelope, like a card, and I'll write out, "Hey, I'm the one with the super weird drink order all the time. Thanks for always doing it right," or whatever, and then give them that.
Nice.
This year, I gave a gift, like an actual little wrapped gift, to the guy I see at Dunkin' Donuts all the time because he'd said something that in a conversation, like we have little conversations every day. And I was like, oh, I bet he would like this thing. So I got him an actual gift, which is kind of fun. And he's saving it for Christmas, which is fun too. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's like my little 30-second primer on what I do for holiday tipping. There's a lot more to it. I don't if you have a personal trainer, obviously you're going to want to tip them probably the cost of a session, depending how dedicated you are to your fitness. Massage therapists, mail carriers. Oh, mail carriers are hard because I don't think they're allowed to accept gifts over like the value of like $20, and they can't accept cash or gift cards. So if you want to do something for your mail carrier, maybe like cookies or something or a small gift.
Interesting. I didn't know that about mail carriers because I guess the one I used to have that I really liked, who's retired or moved on or something. I would definitely tip him cash, and he definitely did not say no. But I was thinking about the delivery people that you like. If you go to a particular delivery restaurant a lot, like if you have a Chinese place in town or something, and you get from them a bunch. Those people I tended to tip pretty well. I bought gifts for these 2 guys, Jerry and Tom, or Tom and Jerry, if you watch cartoons. And I bought them gifts. And afterwards, they called me from the restaurant and said, you got us 2 different things. I thought you just kind of gave us generic things. And they were like very specific to who they were and what they were into. And I said, it's an embarrassment to all of us that I know as much about you as I do, because that means I've ordered that much Chinese food. I'm willing to admit that. But, it was good. It felt nice. I'm a big fan of holiday tipping, and it's like you gave all those categories, and I thought that was great. It's, if someone's provided a service to you multiple times, it's probably good to tip them. Like I used to take my kids to the same restaurant. It's like over one bridge from my house. Like you walk 100 steps and you're there. And so Jacob, who was there, he took care of my kids, once a month or so for very many years. So I would give that lad quite a gift. And I think that's the way to do it, right? Like if someone's, really thoughtful and adds to your life, maybe there's a thing about that. And so I just feel like I'm trying to think of categories where I wouldn't. I mean, probably the tax man. There's some services I'm not happy that I have to avail of. I probably wouldn't tip them, but I liked your point.
Catching up on the comments here, Leslie says, I do a lot of different things, candy, Lego pieces, small things, notes with activities. I think one year I tried an advent calendar that had like fancy chocolate in it, and my kids were not interested. So that was fine. Actually, I didn't mind that year because I got to eat them, but they did not care. And yeah, they're just having a little conversation, Chloe and Leslie.
Switch candy for your delicious maple syrup. Oh, if Leslie pours syrup into 24 little squares, I'll drink it.
All right, so I have to tell you something. I have not thought about my 3 words at all. I've been so flat out getting ready to
Yeah.
relaunch the backpack show and just like at work and all that stuff that I have not been very introspective, and I need to do it. So, but you're going to have your usual My Three Words event this year, right? So tell
Yes.
people about it because they need help like I need help probably with My Three Words.
Man, I should have been smart and had my URL ready to go to sign up for it, but I don't.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I've done it every year since, golly, I can't remember now. I want to say like 2011 or 2010. Like I started doing it not as early as you started doing it, but I caught on pretty quickly,
Right.
and I've done it every year since. And I do tend to I make the words, like I'll make a graphic, put it on my laptop, keep it on my phone, keep it visible. I know you say you should write them every day. I don't write
Yes.
them every day because I'm not that, I don't handwrite much. But yeah, talk about it. Oh, your thing went away. I'll put it back. Go ahead. Talk about your 3 words.
So I am since 2006, I launched this concept. And it was funny. I forget. Somebody was saying to me, I had no idea that you did that. I said, well, here's the great news. Gemini knows I did it because I asked Gemini who invented the My Three Words concept for planning the year. And it was like, oh, Chris Brogan did that. So thank you, Gemini. It's the whole idea is basically instead of coming up with a resolution, because resolutions fail, most of them by January 18th, come up with 3 words that will guide your goals for the coming year. So you use them as 3 separate guideposts, which is why you can't do things like burn the bridge, because the is not a useful word in, guiding yourself. So you try to come up with 3 unique words that will put you into the year. So we're doing an event on whatever day that thing says there's an event, because I didn't actually read it. Monday, December 29th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So midnight for Chloe. So she'll be there. And it's an event where we make it celebratory. We make it fun. We try to make it a very meaningful time. And for people who are there live, it's just such a better experience because you can bounce your words off me. I will give you my opinion either way. And I'll poop on you if you have bad ones, because the other thing is, since doing this since 2006, I have tens of thousands of data points of reference. I have so many people who have told me how the words worked for the year, which ones that were better. Like, for instance, here's a hint of what's coming. For reasons I don't fully grasp, the word focus is not a good 3 words word. Focus never works. Focus is like saying don't hit the tree. It does not prompt the action that you want to take. So we've come up with lots of alternatives to that word. My words this year were gambit, as in chess playing gambit, like where you make a move and you kind of take a risk to try something where the other person has to fall into it for it to work. That one, I mean, I'll go over which ones did good or bad. I won't do it now. The next one was at home, sort of in that it was a cheat because I used the at symbol to make it one word. But, that joke about I want a McDonald's cheeseburger, and they're like, we have cheeseburgers at home, meaning you have the stuff you need, So that was one. And then the third was event, which is instead of just going to places or something, make it an event, and it, like in micro ways. So Kerry says, hey, I did this really cool AI thing. I make it an event. Wow, that is so amazing. And so that was how they worked. My words worked great for this year. But holy cow, am I challenged for 2026, because I think it's going to be a rather clunky year. So I don't know. What's your belly saying about how you did for the year past, and what are you thinking going forward?
Me. So even my kid remembered what mine were because I went through a lot trying to come up with them. But it was like a tumultuous year, more tumultuous than I realized it would be. So my words actually served me extra well. It was anchor, which means hold to what's most important to you. Not anchor like weighed down, but anchor like stay grounded and centered around the things that are most important to you. So anchored. And then anchor tack, meaning sometimes to make progress, you can't go straight at a thing. You just, because the headwinds are too strong, you have to kind of find your way back and forth to get to the destination, which hugely helpful this year. And wayfinder, which means when there's no map, you feel your way along, which has also been really how it was this year. Lots going on, lots of things changing, no, clear set direction. I very much had to feel my way through some unfamiliar situations. So they worked out surprisingly well for me, almost prescient this year. And we'll see how I do for 2026. I don't know. I have not set my mind to thinking about them yet, and I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna have to do it.
Well, we do have to play for time. So make sure you go to that URL that we just took down so that you can't see it.
Oh, hush your mouth. Jeez.
I'm thinking what I'm thinking. All right, get out of here. This was a great episode. Good to see everybody. Thanks for talking about holiday traditions, as they say in Spanish, via con quesos. And we will pick it up next time.